Hello, I'm Philip Feldman from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and I'm here today to talk about the Keyword Explorer suite that we've built, which is actually a pipeline for interrogating, extracting, and producing information on online communities. This is the Keyword Explorer application itself, which interacts with the GPT-3. It has a place for providing prompts to the GPT-3, which it will then respond with. Here's a list of popular pets, for example. Here's a list of Simpsons characters. And what this is able to do is interrogate the knowledge within the GPT-3 about what is essentially popular in the internet space. It allows us to provide different ways of extracting keywords and queries that we might not otherwise be able to think of. So here, for example, is a list of exotic pets. It comes back with this extensive list. We're able to then parse that list, send it off to Twitter, get keyword counts from this. We can plot this over time, and you can see that we have some responses which are like bearded dragons, leopard geckos, and so forth that have a tremendous number of responses, while green iguana, on the other hand, does not. So this is the first step of the process, to find the prompts, to find the keywords. The second step is to actually just download the tweets. And this is an application that allows us to do just that. We can take the output from the previous step, which are in this case the 5 or so keywords or phrases that we want to get from. We can then set the beginning and end text and durations. From that, we can also see how long it would take to download balanced data sets or proportional data sets. We can also download one at a time. So once these are all down, the next step is to be able to take a look at the data that we've stored in the database. And often, particularly in cases where we are looking at things like medications, the prescription is used the same in many, many languages. So one of the things that we have to do is be able to decide which prompts we're going to produce good data results and which data results we don't want to keep. We want to be able to clean the data in meaningful ways. One of the best ways to do this is through the use of embeddings. So what we do is we take the multidimensional embeddings generated by the GPT-3 again, and then produce a t-SNE reduction, which is then used to show the various relationships of these particular clusters. We can also have a more interactive view where we can click on each individual tweet within the data set, and we can see in this case we have Chinese, in this case we have German, we can have any number of languages here because of the prescriptions, and we want to keep in this case the ones that are in English that are within the sort of the domain that we want to have. So we can exclude any others and then take that data that we have cleaned and then generate a training corpora that we send off to the fine-tuning of a GPT-2 model. This is the last piece. This is the Model Explorer. And what it does is it allows us to download a model that we fine-tuned. Once the model itself is loaded, then we can prompt the model just as we prompt the GPT-3, but now the data set that it's been trained on is the data set that is just in response, in this case, to drugs for COVID. And in this case, we have a data set that produces extended periods of text, but the text that is most closely related to that are the first responses. After that, it's basically improvising off the data as it comes along. So the way that this data is produced is it in turn is parsed and developed so that each individual response can be selected and stored in a database. So we can just take a look at the first responses or all the responses for a particular prompt. As that goes, it generates a set of percentages that are based on the proportion of a particular token that's in the training set, so that we can see whether or not the corpora has been effectively learned or whether or not we need to work on it some more. This becomes the basis for our entire exploration of the system and is a very effective way of exploring latent opinions rather than doing actual ones. Thank you.